We're going to go through 400 doors. I'm going to go through a few slides, and then I'm going to log into my 400 doors account and show you around a little bit. So 400 doors is something that our brokerage has purchased and subscribed to so that all the agents in the office can use it. And it's a networking tool for the agents in this office. And also there are 7 other KW offices in the metro area that are partaking in it. And any individual agent within North Star MLS can be a part of it if they really want to too. They don't quite get the same benefit as having it on an office level, and I'll talk a little bit about some of those things. So we'll just get going. So we've already set up 400 doors. We've had it for a couple of months. There's a few agents using it at a fairly high level, and we'd really love to see more people getting on there, getting active in there, because the more people that are using it, the more beneficial it is for everyone. And with 8 KW offices that have access to this, that's a lot of agents to help share pre-listings, listings, buyer needs, rentals, and rental needs. So with that, we'll get going. It's a plug and play agent networking platform, helps agents and brokers close more deals within your network, pre-listings, and it is in a clear, cooperation compliant manner. And then buyer needs in a way that consumers and other companies can't, in the way that it does these connections. So that's the official what it does. Basically, it's like a dating service for your listings, your pre-listings, and buyers. It's going to look and try to find matches and alert you to those matches. So just a quick little overlay of how it works. Each of those 3 circles is like a KW Market Center. So if you think of that first one there in the top left, if that's our Maple Grove Market Center, you would have the Roseville one, the Eden Prairie one, and any of the other ones that are partaking in it. And you can share pre-listings, listings, buyer needs, rentals, and rental needs. Now, when you share pre-listings or withhelds, those stay within our brokerage, and that's how it's in the clear cooperation compliant manner. So those stay just within our network. And then when you have a buyer need or a listing or a rental that you want to share, by default, you could share that to everybody in the network. Or you can choose just to share that within our office or our market center if you prefer. So again, that's what I was saying, the buyer needs, pre-listings, rental needs, rentals, and your active listings. And then it's going to look to try to find a match every night. It's going to go through, and if I post a buyer need for a 4-bedroom, 3-bath in Maple Grove under $425, and somebody else who's part of this network posts a listing that matches that or is close to matching that criteria, it's going to let both of the agents know via the daily distiller email that comes once a day. So you'll get that every morning. So it takes those, combines them into this daily distiller, which is one email that gives you the most recent update. So it's going to tell you what happened on the 400 Doors network yesterday, basically, and then it'll have those matches listed in there as well. And that's where it can get really powerful, because if there's, if the number of agents that are actively using it, increases to even somewhere close to what have the agents that have access right now, if they start using it, that's a lot of listings and a lot of buyer needs. And that's just one more way that you can help find homes for your buyers faster, hopefully. And not only that, but this is something you could talk about your buyer consultation or your buyer presentation, and at a listing consultation or presentation, talking about this network that we have access to help find matches for what they're looking for faster. Here's a sample of what that daily distiller email looks like. So it comes once a day, and it's going to have the new posts in your area on there. And then if there's any matches, it's going to put those in there as well. Now, this is what my daily distiller that came this morning looked like. I don't have any posts in there, so it's not going to have any matches for me, obviously. So there's some withheld, some other listings, things like that. And the different house colors on the side, those correspond with what it is. So this would be like the withheld or pre-list category. Blue would be your listing. And then the little green, like a thought bubble with the house, that's a buyer need. So you do need to have buyer representation signed for the buyer needs that you're posting on here. That is a requirement of 400 Doors, and that's just something they did in there to help protect everyone. I mean, you don't really want to be working too much with buyers that you don't have signed under buyer rep anyways, right? That's going to find those pre-listing matches as well as listings and just increase the likelihood of agents matching up, and that a listing agent who has a pre-list could potentially reach out to you or you could reach out to them because you're going to get notified of that match. Benefit for your buyers, it's just going to increase or be one more way that you might be able to find a home quicker or find a home that you might have not even realized. On the sell side, you actually can go in here and you could search out the buyer needs, and then you know what kind of buyer needs are posted on here. Again, you could use that in your listing presentation. This is a great way if you've got clients that they want to keep their listing private and they don't want to go on the MLS, because if that's what they really, really want, you could share it within our office on here. And that's going to find those matches on the listing side as well. And there are agents that are using this as leverage to help in aiding in the conversations of, well, I do want to sell, but I just don't quite want to list now. I'd like to wait, because how am I going to find a property? Here's one more tool you have in your tool belt. Again, they could keep it private if they wanted. And once a listing is posted on here or a buyer need, after you go and remove it from here, it's gone. You don't have to worry about it lingering behind. Again, one more way you can build awareness and marketing momentum before you actually go active on the MLS.
Ideally, should you go and delete it when it's sold? Or does it delete after so long?
Question was, should you delete it after it's sold, or does it delete on its own? No, you should go in there and clean up your old posts from time to time, yes. As far as I know, they do not automatically expire or delete. I mean, they'll get pretty far down the feed, but somebody could, in theory, find it in a search still. So this is what the screen looks like when you log into 400 Doors from the desktop. Very clean, intuitive interface. On the left-hand side, you can see right there, you can add your listings and your pre-listings buyer needs. And then they threw in a little real estate news and some average mortgage rates as well. And then over on the right-hand side, and that 2/3 of the screen is your feed. And by default here, this one is on everything, but I could click this drop down just to see buyers, the listings, and things like that. And this is also mobile optimized, so it does work from your phone. Simply go to 400doors.com and you can pull it up. All of the functionality that you can do on your computer, you can do from your phone as well, which is really handy. I mean, if a system really isn't mobile friendly, it's not going to get used. So now, I mentioned at the beginning that you should all have a 400 Doors account already. You can simply go to 400doors.com, and I do have a button on Market Center Tech, which you can click on. And when you get there, it's going to look like the screen at the bottom half here with a sign up, but there is a sign in link in the top right corner. Now, when we got everyone set up on there, it basically created a random password, and the system didn't notify us. And so the first time you do this, if you've never been in here before, you'll click sign in. And if you know your login, go ahead and log in there. If you don't, you'll click forgot password. And when you click that forgot password, you can put in your email address. So this would be the email address that you have on the roster, or that you had on our office roster as of a couple of months ago. If you haven't logged in here and you've changed your email in the last couple of months, it might still be that old email. You can always reach out to me, and I can help you figure out what email it is. And when in doubt, go with the primary email that you use, and then in doubt, try your KW email. Put that in. If the account doesn't exist, it'll tell you that it can't reset the password. Otherwise, you'll get a success. So if you get that can't reset, that's probably the wrong email address. And just for your reference, this is the contact information for the creator of 400 Doors. So you can always reach out to him if you have questions or need help. I'm certainly available too, but I just wanted to throw this up there for a minute. His name is Billy Pauling, and he's actually a KW agent out of the Eden Prairie office. So he's a local guy who wrote and built this because he realized that we didn't have anything like this available. So with that, I'm going to switch out of the slides. And while I get that, does anybody in the room or on Zoom have any questions for me yet?
So who's on there again? Which? brokerages?
There are 8 KW market centers in the Twin Cities that are part of 400 Doors as a whole market center, whole office. And then there are individual agents from other companies who have gone and signed up for free accounts on here. Now with the free account, they can't market any pre-listings or withhelds, so they don't get the same benefit. It's really more powerful when it's on a brokerage level. So again, there's 8 KW offices, so 7 besides us, just in the Twin Cities area. And it is a local product, so it's not really outside of the Twin Cities area yet.
So it's okay to put the withhelds on there then?
Yes, you can put the withhelds on there. We'll put those under the pre-list category, so that way they don't leave our walls.
Where do you see this headed, Marty? Do you see this as more of a KW product where it'll be all KW brokerages? Do you see it being wide open to all?
That's a good question. I don't know where Billy is kind of headed with the scope of this. It's really a very small operation, so I don't think he's trying to really get massive growth and monetize it. I think he primarily was trying to make something that would be a benefit to the KW agents in our area. That's a pretty small percentage of non-KW agents that are on here now, but I'm not 100% sure, where he has visions for this going.
Okay, last question. Do you foresee something like this becoming a part of our command system moving forward, or do you think it'll stay within 400 Doors?
I have not heard any talks from KW about building a product like this, and this one's still probably a little bit too small for them to entertain buying and building in.
Sure.
So I don't know. I mean, if we were to get anything like this in command, I think that it would be quite a ways down the road.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So can everyone on Zoom see my 400 Doors screen now?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, good. All right, just wanted to make sure. So I'm here logged into 400 Doors right now. There's not a lot you need to know as far as your account. Once you get in there, in the top right corner, you can go in and click on your profile just to make sure that you have your contact info. You can put a short bio and some of that stuff in there. And if you did not want to get that Daily Distiller email, you can opt out here. But if you opt out, you're not going to get any of those notifications, even the matches. So when I go back to the main page of 400 Doors, in the main part of the screen here you're going to see that recent activity. And this is where I was mentioning that the pink houses, that's the pre-listing, the blue is the listings, and then you've got the buyer needs and rental needs. And when you want to go through and browse, I mean, you can click the drop down, click into the pre-listing listing category, and simply scroll through, or there is a search at the top, really brings you to the same place. You can go in here, and in the search, you can narrow it down by city as well. Plymouth, so I guess there's none in there right now. We'll do Maple Grove, and you'll see the post just for that city. So you can search by any category. There is a conversation category where you can go ask questions. So there's people in here that are asking, anybody have a carpet installer? How about a mason? So that's another place that you can find vendor recommendations if you're not finding what you need in our Facebook group. And you can simply browse through the vendors that are part of this as well. Now, there's a lot of vendors in here and they pay to be in here, but they don't have access, so they're not going to be spamming you through here. You don't have to worry about them getting all of our info and spamming us. They're simply in here because they wanted to be a part of it. They saw the value add in putting their contact info in here and making it accessible to people. So when you want to go add something on here, to add a pre-listing or a withheld, you see right over here, pre-listing on the left-hand side. You click on that. It's really a pretty quick and easy form to fill out. You're going to give it a headline and a description. The client name, that's only shown to you. That's really just for your own tracking, so you don't forget who it was if you have a lot of things in here. Put in your price. Again, you can put in the address, city, square foot. Click the property style as closest match, bedrooms, bathrooms, garage stalls, lakeshore or not, and photos. You can add up to 6 photos in here. And again, you click add, you just select it from your computer. It does have a couple of bullet points here saying you've got a signed listing contract. the pre-listing is only available to 400 doors members of the same brokerage, so not outside of these walls, and to agree that you're abiding by all local MLS rules and regulations. And then you'd go ahead and click add pre-listing, and that's going to go put it on there right away. Clicked on the wrong one there. So you would see that show up in here, and here's the headline. Here's the basic property details and that description. Here's one with a photo. Quick and easy that you can see who posted it, and you can contact them right through here if you wish. The same thing applies for listing. It's the same. The only thing different in listing is there's one additional option. So it's the same headline description, all the info, but down at the bottom, you have an option to select who do you want to share this listing with. So here's where you can choose, do you want it to be just within our walls, or do you want to go to all 400 doors members? I would think in most scenarios, you'd want to go to all 400 doors members to increase the likelihood of finding a match. And you can go over here for the buyer needs, pretty much the same, except you can put a price range and a minimum square footage in there and a city instead of just instead of the actual address. Put in those basic details, and you can post that as well to the full network or just to our brokerage. And the rental category is very lightly used on here now, but I know that that's a hot topic. People looking for short-term or mid or long-term rentals even, just given this market. So why not post it on here if you can? Any notifications you get through the system would come up here in the top right, and you can also add those listings and buyer needs from there as well. Anybody have any questions for me right now? I knew this would be a fairly short run through. I've got time to answer questions. Otherwise, I've really showed you all the features of it. It's pretty straightforward and doesn't have a whole lot of extra stuff to get lost in, which is nice.
Mark, where did you say more on our phones that had that? Or how we had that?
Oh, to access, so the question was accessing this from your phone. You just open up the internet browser. It's not an app, so you'd open up the browser on your phone, whatever, if you have Chrome or Safari, and just go to 400doors.com.
Okay, I've done that. So there's not.
Yeah, there's not an app. It's just a website that you can pull up on your phone, and then it'll respond and adjust to fit the phone screen. Anybody in the room have any questions here?
No, just I was going to ask the same thing how to access it. It's not through Command Center or anything. You just got to kind of download. You got to look it up on the web browser.
Yep. So from your computer or your phone, you go to 400doors.com, and then there is a button on Market Center Tech where we have those dozen buttons. There is a 400 Doors button on there to get to it as well. And if you haven't logged in there before, do the password reset option or the forgot password option. And if you still can't get in, let me know. So you'd click sign in and forgot password. You go put in your email there. Now, if it doesn't exist, it'll let you know that either an account doesn't exist or it can't reset the password. Otherwise, you'll get a green confirmation, and you should get that reset email really momentarily. I did it earlier today to test it, and I got my reset email in less than a minute.
Is there a way to get alerted right away?
Is there a way to get alerted right away? Not as of now. It's just the once a day daily distiller email.
Okay.
Yeah, so you wouldn't get an immediate alert on a match
You do if you're listing.
on the list.
Yeah, I put in a pre-list yesterday and it told me that Dan Swanger was a match. So I went and I found Dan.
Oh, okay. So somebody just told me here that they put in a listing yesterday or a pre-listing yesterday, and it notified them right away that there was an agent in here that had a buyer need that was a match for it. All right, even better. Any questions on Zoom? No? Okay.
Seems like a good addition to the programs.
Yeah, and I like that it's a simple tool. I mean, we don't need to overcomplicate anything more in our world, right? Awesome. Okay. Well, if there's no other questions, I can let you all get to.
Hey, Marty, I have a question.
Yeah, Don.
So when you put it in as a pre-list coming soon, then when it goes active, you need to take out the coming soon and then put it back in as an active listing, or can you somehow just switch it?
Yeah, that's a great question. It will not automatically like switch. You would have to go and repost it if you still wanted it on there at that point in time. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not connected to the MLS, so it's not going to auto update. And there's not a way to change it once you've got it in there. You'd have to pull it down and post it again. Hopefully you've got it sold so fast you don't need to.
All right, thanks.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. Well, that's all I've got. So thanks everybody. If you have any questions, certainly reach out to me. Otherwise, it is billy@400doors.com. That's the email address of the Billy Pauling who created this. So, okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thanks, Marty.
All right.